and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Elsie Godwin, and this is Reviews on the Couch, where we discuss movies, how they made us feel, and lessons we can pick from them. If this is your first time of visiting this channel, kindly subscribe by clicking the red button below and also hit the bell button so you get notified each time there is a new content. Thank you. On this episode of Reviews on the Couch, we are discussing Good on Paper. Good on Paper is a 2021 American comedy film showing on Netflix. Joining me on this episode of Reviews on the Couch is a media entrepreneur and the senior editor at NewswireNG, Folayan. Also, I have Seun Odukoya. Seun Odukoya is a writer and an author. They will be joining me right after this break. Thank you, Seun. Thank you, Fola, for being my guest on Reviews on the Couch. So we are reviewing Good on Paper. And before we get into the very singular question I have from that movie, I want us to talk about how we felt watching it and also review it in terms of, both of you are arts people, so I'm so honored to have both of you today. I think I'm going to start with Fola.
Good choice.
Okay.
Good choice.
So when you saw it, how did you feel? What would you say about the acting, the screen writing, and all the shenanigans that comes with reviewing a movie?
So when I saw it, okay, so it's one of those movies that you see and you stumble on because you're just curious. I didn't exactly go out to watch it. I was looking for something to see on Netflix, and I was like, Good on Paper, okay, looks like something soft and something unproblematic, so let me just watch it. And then I got into the story and I liked it. I liked it because it's not your everyday rom-com, but it's a very well told story. It's a story of I feel like it's a story of every working woman of a certain age, especially if you live, if you're heterosexual and you're dealing with, men at a certain level of your life, and you're just seeing the drama play out, and you're just, I could identify so many scenarios, that I've heard other people have been in, and that I personally have been in. So I was laughing all through at some, things that was like, come on, this is it was so funny. I liked the story. I liked how it was well told. I liked the acting. I liked that the actors the actors played their roles really, really well. They're very believable. I think the supporting roles for me were even more, I found them more appealing or more hilarious, especially this Asian American, I keep forgetting her name. I found her like, I think she's one of my favorite characters in the film. So it's a good story for me. It's a very homely, everyday story. Funny enough, when I was watching it, I thought, okay, in as much as I wouldn't support remaking or flipping stories from different places, I feel like a Nollywood version of it would not be bad. Seriously. Like bring it to Nigerian context. I know it's a ridiculous idea. I know it's a ridiculous idea.
It's not ridiculous, so they also do
but
it.
I feel like bring it down to a Nigerian setting and it will be a hit, because that is a very good story.
Good on Paper. I think the title describes the movie. Good on Paper. Doesn't much work in real life. And by real life, I mean me watching it. I couldn't finish the movie. And
Wow.
I think maybe it's because it's not my normal fare. I don't know. I'm not particularly a fan of rom-coms, but I watch depending on how good it is, or maybe I like the cast or something. But this one, okay. First of all, I think the challenge for me was I didn't connect with the female character, so I couldn't root for her because so who is this person? A stand-up comedian who doesn't have time for love. Okay, that's all. Parents, I don't know. Siblings, I don't know her story. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So I don't feel any connection to her at all. I just feel like I'm just watching somebody play out something on the screen. And then the guy, I mean, for goodness sake. So anybody who drops names as frequently as that guy does is one of two things. Either an incredibly insecure person who feels the need to impress, or an incredible liar. He's one of the two. So I think I saw a few minutes of the movie and I already knew, oh, this guy is definitely not what he's claiming to be. And I didn't like it, and I couldn't, like I told us earlier, I couldn't finish it. The thing for me is that I love movies a lot. I love movies so much that if I'm tired and I still need to work, I watch a movie to get my energy levels up again. That's how much I love movies. So if I'm watching a movie and I'm yawning, I'm stretching, I'm needing to stand up like 15 times, there's a problem. So I don't know. It just didn't work for me at all. Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm surprised that it didn't work for you though. Like,
why are you surprised?
Yeah, cause okay, I would be the first to say that I'm not exactly a fan of rom-coms too. I always think that they can be quite silly, and some of them are just tired story. From the beginning, we know where it's coming from, and once they will now fall in love. To now
very
they will have
predictable
small
storylines.
Do you know why I would agree with Seun? Yeah. If I was told that the lady is 25 or 22, I would like, okay, makes sense. But at 35, and you are still falling for that kind of name-dropping liar.
As in,
forget people can fall for it. See,
how desperate are you?
See, you're looking at it because you're looking at your own street smarts and what you know.
Well, it's a movie. Hello, it's
handle.
supposed to convince me that this could easily happen.
But then you're forgetting that this also is also set in a certain kind of environment or in a certain kind of society. Do you get where some of these I don't like this is not me being racist, but you have some of these white girls who grew up within a certain, by they're 25 and they're still trying to figure out what to do with their lives. Meanwhile, me and you at 25 said some of us don't bump the keys. Do you understand? We're on the street. We're on the street. Do you get?
I would love. Hey.
I don't know about that too.
You understand? So
I get you.
Their society is completely different. She's a stand-up comedian who is trying to make it in the movie industry, who is looking at somebody else that she grew up with, making waves, and she's feeling like this person is taking all the shine that should have taken. She's still auditioning. At 35, she's auditioning up and down. They give her waka pass work. Do you get? So it's not as if she exactly has her life on track as it were, know. And look at her choice of friends. Look at the person that is her bestie. Do you get? A queer bartender who is half crazy herself.
I get where you're coming from. I mean, and also looking at where they grew up. If you're saying maybe their climb is thinner, and they wouldn't expect a grown-up man to go out of his way to be lying that kind of lie.
Exactly. She doesn't have the smarts or the experience or whatever, And she met this guy on a plane. He comes. I mean, tells her all these fantastic stories. Even at the time, and there's one thing you also fail to notice, that when I say that she's like a whole lot of us for women, when her instincts were telling her that this guy was boboing her, there's a part of, you could see the part where in her head, it's clear that this guy was lying to her, but she just still wanted to believe the best of him. So she was still in the relationship. She was still living.
I love this thing you said.
And her brain was telling her that this thing gets as a BO.
I love this thing you said because there's this, I don't know what word to use. So let me put it this way. A woman actually told me once that a man who doesn't lie to his girl does not respect her feelings. Yes. And if you talk to a lot of boys, that's the impression and perception a lot of us have, that, oh no, you can't be 100% honest. You have to put some lies in there somewhere. So I understand when you say, even though our instincts were telling her that he was lying to her, she chose to believe him. But this is what I'm saying. Look, that guy was a flat out creep. He had, in my opinion, I may be wrong, but in my opinion, he had no redeeming qualities.
He's a sociopath.
How can you not spot that? And again, you talked about how she's trying to audition for movies and stuff. But she, according to what we saw, she seemed like a pretty decent stand-up comedian.
Yes,
at least
yes.
she did shows and the halls were packed.
Yeah.
So this insecurity, this need to just accept this guy. Now, again, remember, this guy got her drunk, right? And then had sex with her, right? So how do you rationalize that? How do you explain it away? This guy has gone to great lengths to, show you that I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
But you still choose to say, you know what? And
and he wasn't even her type from the beginning.
Exactly,
so
because she said she wasn't physically attracted to him
sexually. She wasn't attracted to him, but he was there and she wanted to, and she wanted relationship.
That's what I'm saying. She was desperate. And so with desperation, all her sense went out of the window.
It went out of the window. She wanted to ship. She thought, okay, blah 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 blah. He's in there.
I didn't
and the guy
like the
was
movie.
Manipulative. He was
the guy
manipulative.
Was all sorts of thief.
At the point when he started sensing that she was moving away, when she went on dates with somebody else, that was when he came up with the story of his mother having cancer.
Yeah.
Do you get? To draw her pity and come back. And then from me, I felt pathetic. I started feeling one kind about the guy from how, how you meet some people and then there's this thing about them that is like their selling point. And that's the whole thing they keep saying everywhere. You know how he kept, any small thing, you must mention that he went to Yale.
That's what I said about the name dropping. That is a red flag, like I explained before I started talking.
Serious red flag. It was right there in her face. It was right there.
Anyway, let me just say for the record, I am not going to forgive Elsie for subjecting me to the torture of watching this movie. You can say what you want to say now.
I apologize.
I'm not accepting
what I want to say.
I'm not accepting. Sorry.
What I want to say is, I'll beg you behind the scene. And there's one thing I liked, maybe it's just me in the movie. Okay. So sometimes when I watch movies where they try to infuse stand-up comedy, they get it wrong. Okay. It's either the comedy is not funny or you are just there watching it like, it's a movie, but it was funny.
The jokes were funny. She's a funny person.
So that's what they got right for me. And like you said, I like her best friend as well. And but everything you guys have said, trust me, I agree. And if you're angry with me, Seun, I'm angry at Fola because she actually suggested this movie to me.
Fola, so I have one more reason to be angry with you. God bless you. First, you wasted my time, you stood me up, then you recommended the shitty movie. Well done. 2-0.
But is it really a shitty movie?
I will revenge.
Like you said, you can enjoy it. It's a feel-good movie. But for Seun,
I watched it.
It's not his kind of movie at all. So
I watched it for I got into the 32nd minute. Then I stopped watching and deleted it. I watched that much because I didn't want to let Elsie down. She shifted. I was in small reason. So you didn't even watch it
to the end?
I wanted to watch enough to justify my position.
Oh my God!
Okay, your position is justifiable, Seun. But my next question is to you before Fola comes in,
Sorry, Fola.
why
Sorry.
do you think, Seun, why do you
I'm listening.
think
Yeah.
some men feel the need to lie to get a woman or to keep a woman? In
Insecurity.
fact, let's start from getting a woman. Why do they need to
Insecurity.
lie?
Insecurity. That's the biggest reason. Because of course it would be very easy to say society says a man should have certain things. There's a lot of pressure on men to, at least to a certain extent, have certain things in place before they start thinking of romance and stuff. So it's almost second nature to a lot of guys to they need to impress. They need to, yeah, have something going for me. They need to be the loudest voice in the room, you know. And that's a huge problem. A lot of us need to unlearn certain things. And I think that a lot of it also stems from insecurity because you start to compare yourself with other people in your age range and so on and so forth. And that never ends well. So I think, yes, a lot of it has to do with insecurity and a lot of it has to do with social conditioning. Like we have to be a certain way. We have to have certain things to be attractive to members of the opposite sex. Yeah, that's my answer.
Fola, do you agree with that?
Yes, 100% I agree. I used to, when I think it was a long time ago, there was someone who was trying to go out with me then and, felt like, he needed to tell a lot of lies and, you know, um, blow up himself to fit up to a certain expectation that he thought I had, you
Mm.
know, which is what I think makes the insecurity to be like in two places. Because one, you're insecure about yourself and what you think that you're worth, and then you're also insecure about the person and what you think their expectations are. So this
Yeah.
person was expecting that, okay, or he was thinking that someone like me would want him to look a certain way, have
Mm.
certain things, be in a certain kind of place. So he came up with all these elaborate stories, funny enough, almost very similar to what this dude did,
Mm.
And when I found out a few months down the line, it wasn't very funny. Of
Yeah.
course, I didn't go as far as this girl had gone, but it was still, I had to be like, dude, you know, we're friends, right? You could have just, I mean, it's not a big deal. Even me that you're looking and thinking that, oh, I expect all these things. I mean, you see me, you see in my hustle. I don't, I'm not a millionaire's daughter either. That kind of thing. All of us, they hustle for this Lagos we would did. So that insecurity is also there. When you look at yourself and you think you're not enough, and you feel like to impress, you're going to constantly manufacture facts and figures that are not there, then this is what happens. You start to lie, you start to give yourself, they say fake it till you make it. I think it's bullshit. Don't fake nothing, especially when it comes to dealing with other people and relationship at the bedrock of every relationship is trust. Do you get? So if you can't be trusted with the basic information about who you are, then uh, it's I think it's clear to say that relationship with you is not going to work. That's how I see it.
Okay, I'm not going to ask Seun to rate this movie because I feel like it's going to be 0/10.
I'll be
But
heartbroken when he rates it.
Fola will rate the movie. But before Fola gives us her rating on a scale of 1 to 10, you mentioned a word that I picked on earlier on when you said red flags. So can you, off the top of your head, give us say 5 red flags that you would advise ladies to look out for when in search of love? Let me put it that way: in search of relationship. What are the red flags you should look out for? Just give us 5 and we go away.
Okay. 5 red flags ladies should look out for, right? Okay. One, a guy who talks too much is, I don't know, is I don't know. I don't like talkative people. So for me, if you're a guy and you talk too much, automatically I start to suspect there's something off about you. And I usually am right. So the guy who talks too much, that's one. Two, somebody who's vague about a lot of personal information, like what do they do for a living, where do they live, what are their parents like. Now, there's a difference between being mysterious and being vague. I'm sure you guys know the difference. A guy who's vague about important stuff, no. The third red flag I'd say is a guy who does a lot of name dropping. Like, oh yes, I live in this place. I went to school with this person. I hang out with this person. This is what I earn. This is my car. You know, that kind of stuff. No. Fourth thing is a guy who seems to have a lot of money and no reasonable explanation for where it's coming from. And the last thing I would say, also note, these things are not law. These are things based on my own personal experiences and opinions. So just because somebody talks too much does not automatically mean there's something wrong with them. I'm just saying. So the last thing I would say is a guy who's too conscious about his appearance and a guy who doesn't care at all about his appearance. Those extremes are not good.
You see that last one that you just said. That last one you just said. That one, it is very valid. Please, if you are so
personal experience,
or you are not particular about how you look, there's a problem. Just be balanced. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, Fola.
On a scale of 1 to 10, for me, because I enjoyed it, I think it was funny. I laughed at the jokes. I liked the acting. I felt like the story is relevant. I'll say 7 over 10. I'll give it a 7. Yeah, I can see Seun's reaction.
I'm afraid to ask what your favorite movie is.
Do I have a favorite? I'm not even sure if I have a favorite movie though. I have movies that I like.
Seun.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, dear. Bye.
So I should keep quiet, Abby. I should keep quiet, Abby. Well done.
Thank you for watching. My name is Elsie Godwin. If there is any movie you think we should talk about or has a lot of lessons that we should elaborate on, please send me a DM via Instagram or Twitter. The handle is ELSIEISY. My details are in the description box below. Remember to subscribe, please. I beg. Hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell button so you get notified each time there is a new content. Till I come your way again or till another upload on this YouTube channel, do take care.